Hi Nima. I keep promising a new intro. You can pretty much give up on it. So, I have a new word to share. This word came up in English class while we were reading Othello. I believe my professor approached it when we were reading Act 2, Scene 1, when Iago and Desdemona are speaking. And Iago is describing to Desdemona a certain pastime of his. This pastime is coming up with Blazons. Sounds a little bit French. Well, unless you speak French, in which case it probably doesn't sound French at all. Anyway, a blazon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is basically an anatomical survey of a woman's features. Mainly her facial features, although I'm sure occasionally her breasts are included, unless they're not that impressive, in which case the gentleman would focus on the facial features. Anywho, Shakespeare will use this technique a lot when certain characters who are smitten with other characters are describing their beloveds. Thy lips, oh, those kissing cherries tempting grow. So yeah, it's basically comparing features to other things in a very flattering manner. Most often the comparisons are drawn between like fruit and flowers, you know, like sweet and juicy stuff. You know, things that women wouldn't mind being compared to. And it's obviously very romantic and all of that. But in all honesty, I am just waiting for that scene where the character gets on a roll, making comparisons, wooing this lady, and then he tries to get a little bit creative and he just blows it. Because truth be told, relationships in Shakespeare's works are so fragile. I mean, seriously, one little slip can completely screw up everything. I mean, all it takes is one missent message, and before you know it, you're committing suicide. Can you imagine if relationships were still like that? Oh, you're supposed to meet me here, but you never text me back, so I, killed myself instead. Or we're married and I should probably trust you above everyone else, but I heard from this really sketchy guy who nobody likes that you were sleeping with my best friend, and so I decided to strangle you in our nuptial bed. So yeah, I just have a feeling that if some guy is wooing a fine lady with blazons, all it would take is one bad comparison to completely throw off the entire deal. Your lips. They are like two juicy sausages. Your nose. It's like a crooked nail in a floorboard. Your eyes. They glisten like hard-boiled eggs. I mean, in this day and age, it seems like if a guy's writing you poetry, it's cute by default. Even if it's really bad poetry. You can still kind of go for the cuteness factor. But in Shakespeare's time, bad poetry is a deal breaker. As soon as you start comparing eyes to hard-boiled eggs and ears to corn cobs, deal's off. You would have done yourself a favor if you had just kept your mouth shut and appeared stupid as opposed to opening it and removing all doubt. Clashing genres. Who can place that quote? So yeah, if you want to use the blazon technique for wooing purposes, be careful, because before you know it, you could be watching your beloved marry another, or stabbing yourself in a cemetery. Or both. By the way, Tori, I keep trying to slip in a subtle shout-out, but it keeps falling through, either for lack of creativity or complete loss of memory. So you know what? Your hair. It's like an oil slick. Bye Sarah, bye Lily. Yours truly, Cat.